the quiet hush of dawn, a legend stirs to life. This is a Southern Railway PS4 Pacific locomotive, a 462 steam giant once heralded as one of America's most famous passenger engines. Its story spans from the roaring 1920s through the twilight of the steam era, leaving an indelible mark on railway history. The PS4's tale begins in the early 1920s. After World War I, Southern Railway needed powerful locomotives for its premier passenger trains. They turned to the successful USRA Heavy Pacific design as a foundation, then refined it with their own twist. The result was the Class PS4, Passenger Southern Design Number 4, a machine both formidable and elegant. Built by the American Locomotive Company and Baldwin between 1923 and 1928, a total of 64 locomotives were produced to haul Southern's most important trains. Each came off the line breathing fire and promise, ready to shrink distances on the Washington to Atlanta main line. These locomotives were far from ordinary. Southern's president, Fairfax Harrison, had been inspired by the sight of handsomely painted British engines on a trip abroad. Under his guidance, the utilitarian black paint of early engines gave way to a bold vision. From 1926 onward, PS4s donned distinctive green and gold liveries, inspired by British style. This vibrant coat set them apart from the somber black locomotives common in America, earning them the affectionate nickname Harrison's Engines. As the sun glinted off their gold lettering, these locomotives looked every bit the first ladies of Southern's fleet, proud, regal, and ready to run. Every part of the PS4 was engineered for both power and grace. Its 4/6 wheel arrangement, 4 pilot wheels, 6 driving wheels, 2 trailing wheels, gave a perfect balance of stability and speed. The driving wheels, a respectable 73 inches in diameter, were slightly smaller than some peers, a tweak that delivered quicker acceleration and sure footing on hills. Even so, these engines flew along the rails, hauling 12 to 15 heavy passenger cars, up to 1,000 tons, at 80 miles per hour on level track. In an era before modern high-speed trains, such performance was breathtaking. The PS4's heart was a robust boiler pushing steam at 200 pounds per square inch, feeding 2 mammoth cylinders, 27 by 28 inches. With each stroke, it exerted over 47,000 pounds of tractive effort, raw pulling power to keep time with fast schedules. Technological refinements like efficient feed water heaters, first Worthington, later Alesco on newer engines, helped wring every bit of energy from the coal and water. Yet for all its muscle, the PS4 was remarkably graceful. Engineers recall the rhythmic chant of its exhaust and the way it glided at speed, a testament to superb design. Behind every PS4 locomotive was its indispensable partner, the tender, a rolling lifeline carrying fuel and water. Early PS4s came with relatively compact tenders, around 10,000 gallons of water capacity, enough for moderate runs but requiring more frequent stops to quench the engine's thirst. As Southern Railway pushed for longer, uninterrupted journeys, larger tenders were introduced. The second-generation PS4s sported huge long-haul tenders holding about 14,000 gallons, along with 16 tons of coal. These bigger tenders, riding on extra sturdy trucks, extended the engine's range to roughly 150 miles between water stops. On stretches like the Washington-Atlanta Main Line, that meant a PS4 could run an entire division without pausing, an impressive feat in the 1920s. Different assignments saw different tender configurations. The final batch of PS4s, built in 1928, carried intermediate-sized tenders, balancing capacity and weight for specific routes. Whether small or large, each tender was a vital vault of water and coal, sustaining the iron horse on its journey. As the PS4 sped through dark nights and bright days, the tender faithfully kept pace, a quiet guardian of the locomotive's endurance. The PS4s quickly became the pride of Southern Railway. Painted in their splendid green, they were assigned to Southern's most prestigious trains, the Crescent Limited, Piedmont Limited, Aiken-Augusta Special, and more. On each run, a PS4 at the head meant a reliable, smooth journey and a dash of style. These locomotives turned heads wherever they went. Children would tug at their parents to watch the green engine thunder by, and travelers specifically chose Southern's routes just to ride behind a PS4. Through the Depression and into the 1940s, the PS4s soldiered on, symbols of dependability and hope. Even as diesels loomed on the horizon, these steamers had one last moment of national spotlight. In April 1945, as the nation mourned, PS4 locomotives hauled President Franklin D. Roosevelt's funeral train on its journey to Washington. In the solemn, slow pace of that train, the exhaust beats of the PS4 echoed the country's heavy heart. It was a poignant farewell, not just to a beloved president, but in some ways to the steam era itself. By the early 1950s, the curtain fell on the PS4s. One by one, these locomotives were retired, their duties taken over by new diesel-electric engines. Most PS4s met the scrapper's torch, their steel turned to new uses. Yet, one survivor remains. Southern Railway number 1401, preserved in the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History. There she sits in graceful silence, a testament to a bygone era. Visitors gaze up at her towering drivers and elegant paint, imagining the living, breathing machine she once was. In the end, the Southern Railway PS4 class was more than a locomotive. It was a moving symbol of an era of graceful travel and iron workhorses, of proud green engines racing through history. As we stand in the present, watching the sun set behind 1401's silhouette xiao, we are reminded that legends may sleep, but they never die. The PS4's gentle strength and timeless allure carry on, a soothing echo from the age of steam, replicated in a game about railroading to continue living on.